build a river on your train layout, they said. I saw it on YouTube. It's easy. Well, if you follow my step-by-step instructions, it is easy. Anybody can do it. Just takes a little time and patience, and maybe a shop vac to clean up the water. So tonight, we're not building the river. Sorry about that. This plywood is here just to simulate about where I'm going to put the river so that we can get this last train behind the water wheel and around this village. As soon as we get that in, we'll run the train and we're going to start on the upper level. Now the upper level, this river is going to go over top of the train. So that will be a tunnel right here. And there is a whole new village up top. Nobody has seen it, not even my family. So let's get this train installed and we can move on to the top. All right, I think that is the final layout. I might change it a little bit. I'm trying to leave enough space for houses and roads and to make it a nice looking village. Everything seems to be linear. I have to think about this for a few minutes. But we're gonna go ahead and run a train, see if it works, and then we'll think some more. Love that smell. If you haven't seen the Great Train Smokeout 2025, you have to go watch it. So much fun. All right, that is a solid loop of track. I may change this a little bit once I start putting houses down, but for now, we're done. I'm going to start putting up the platforms on either end and create some upper track. All right, we got our top platform. It's painted black. This is one I use every year. Oops. All right, we got to get this stuff out of the way. This was just up here, kind of showing me where things might be. All right, we have to put legs on. I need 4 legs. Back corners and then front corners. So these legs are going to have to be over a little bit. So I'll just measure over a little bit. Same thing on the other side. You can't really see that. So we're going to throw this up here. All right. Got my 4 legs. Like that. There. Back here. Three-inch drywall screws. Nothing fancy. So these would be the back legs after we flip it over, so they can go right in the corner. Holes are already there. It's going to be loud. All right, then we're going to take our level. I'm not worried about level. I just want it to be straight up and down. It's not that critical. So something like that. And then we'll do the back. Okay, then we grab our 1 5/8" drywall screw. Any size will work as long as it'll go through the 2x4 into the plywood to hold it. Or you can even run them up from the bottom if you can really figure out where it is. Coarse thread drywall screws, not fine thread. Fine thread is for metal. All right, coarse thread is for wood. All right, this one I'm going to try from the bottom. All right. Now, the others, I will just toenail down on an angle. Remember, this is all temporary for me. This is not a model railroad, so I'm not worried about it being permanent. All right, time for green paper. So let's get that done. Green paper. I told you all about the Bachman paper. Not a big fan right now. Found this It's made by JTT. Not sponsored yet. I hope to get sponsored someday. We hit 1,000 subscribers. So we're gonna give this a try. My brother Sean just got his paper. Same paper, he got it at Hobby Lobby for cheaper than I did. It was like $17.99, I think, so not terrible, but still not great. All right, you've seen this. I'm just gonna shut up and put paper on. And that's it for this end. I wanna get the other platform at the other end done to show you that. It's a little bit different installation, no black paint, and it cantilevers over the end of the platform. So let's go down there and do that before we start putting track together on the upper level. All right, we're at the other end now. So this has a gap, and I don't want to run a leg all the way to the floor. So I put a leg attached to the back of the platform, then the other leg will go up here. It's strong enough because I don't walk on it really, just maybe on the front a little bit. So these are clamped in place, 1.5 inches in, so that the frame can go past it on either side. 11.5 inches high. That's how high I decided to make the end this year. You know what? I was going to make it shorter. I forgot about that. Back to the saw. All right, back from the saw. Let's get back to it. I've cut them down 2 inches. I just wanted to have some downhill, something different. It'll look good. So we'll get these clamped in place. 1.5 inches in from the side. I have a mark on there, 9.5 inches up. I'm going to run the screw in just a little bit, so hold your ears. Okay. Same thing on this side. Now, let's get the platform up here on top. Yeah, just like the other end, we'll check the level straight down. Make sure it's straight. So we'll come this way a little bit. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to tack this in place. Now she won't move. We can check the level front to back. This end needs to go down. And that end, it looks like it might work. Okay. Now we're going to put a screw in through this end 2x4 into that bracket. So we're level. All right, I've got everything screwed in. This side is a little weak because it's so far this way. I'm going to throw an extra piece behind here. Let me show you what we have now. All right, so we added a brace over here. It was a little flimsy on the corner. So let's take a look underneath and see what it looks like. All right. All right, you can see we have the rear braces with the platform hanging over about 18 inches. So these are screwed in from the side, and they're also screwed into here. 4 screws, plenty strong enough. The front legs are positioned so the trains miss them. And there's the other side. We're not walking up here, so it's not critical for it to be super structurally sound. All right, it's time for some green paper. All right, that's it. Green paper's done. It's ready for track. There's going to be a mining town up here, oil derricks, who knows what. Probably another mountain up in the corner with some stuff up high. Not really sure. But this goes from here to the center. But we're going to go back to the other end. I want to do that end first with track, and then we'll come back here. So let's get to it. All right, let's take a quick break and explain something. I'm going from 12 inches high at that end to this little island here is 11, back to the platform behind me at 10. So 1 inch downhill between for each bridge, basically, each red bridge. The way I'm doing that, the simplest way I can figure out to do it, I cut this. This is 9.5. When the plywood goes on top, it'll be 10. This platform is currently at 11. So I just run my level between and I measure wherever I want to put a leg. I just measure down the bridge from where the bridge sits on this little piece of wood right here down to the bottom of here is almost exactly 6 inches. So at intervals, I just measure down, subtract 6 inches, and that's how much I need to cut my pieces. But you have to account for the plywood too. So basically, I put 3 pieces of wood in there, lay a piece of plywood down, and that's it. The bridge sits on this small piece of plywood. Now, the lip of the bridge, this thickness right here, doesn't quite equal a 1/2 inch. But a piece of very small cardboard laying on there builds it up to the perfect height. When we get to this end, we will finish this with a piece of plywood, and this is where a turnout will go across this bridge to make the loop back to the other end. All right, if you have any questions, put them down below and I'll try to answer them. All right, let's get back to building and I'll shut up now. All right, and there you have it. Train number 13. The last one is the end gauge. That doesn't go on until after a bunch of the buildings are out, and we got to figure out how it can go around buildings and that kind of stuff. So for now, trains are complete. We're going to test run this one, and then we will probably start mountains really soon. All right, let's give it a test run and see what happens.